Hello, it's Greg Goes and Guides. We're back. We hope you're having a happy day wherever you're listening to this audio content from. As always, I'd like to thank you for your continued support of Greg Goes and Guides in social media and writing efforts. Thank you, thank you, thank you. This is a special, not a podcast show. Today, we're dealing with one of my wonderful, wonderful, wonderful passions, playing chess. In the last year, I've been on extended vacation. That's code for completely unemployed. And I have picked up the game of chess in earnest. And I thought I would talk about some of the realities of playing chess in the modern day. It doesn't mean I'm a high-level player or a low-level player or a titled player. I just thought for the average person who plays in these days, maybe a perspective from a player who really does practice, study, and play hard might be of some value. But don't worry, fans of Japan, Japanese culture, writing, beta reading, proofreading, content creation, and blogging. We'll be back with all of that wonderful, wonderful, wonderful content in an episode in the very near future. Let's get to it. So, I play chess. And of course, you can play chess online in these times, which is great. Chess.com, and I play on Lead Chess. I play games on chess.com, and I play games on Lead Chess. But I will say that most of my games that I play at a high level are against the chess engines, and I'll talk about why that is. The first part is, if you play online chess, people will cheat. And not like one person, but a lot of people. And there are algorithms from those chess websites to try to catch the cheaters, and you can report cheaters, and they get banned, and life goes on, and then there's another one, or another's to spring up. They got old for me. I got tired of getting cheated. Even if it wasn't caught, it was clear a really low-level player couldn't be that much better than I am after studying and practicing for hours a day and having some background in chess. So I played the bots. And I don't play the bots at low levels, I play them at the high levels. And I get beat down hundreds of times. I think I've played about 1,000 games in the last year between chess.com and Lead Chess easily against the computer. And I love it a lot. And I learn a lot. But I lose. If ratings are your things, and for people in the chess content creator community and the pretty good players on chess.com and Lead Chess, it's like everything to them. Play people at your own level or lower, and when you're winning, play more games. And when you lose a couple, stop, regroup, and refresh. Because your rating can go up pretty quick, and it can go down pretty quick. And when you're playing well, there's something mental about playing. I can run off 5, 6, 7, even I ran off 10 games in a row that I won in a tournament that I got second to my great, great, great surprise. And I've also lost 10 games in a row, and the frustration of losing cost me most of those games with stupid blunders. So when the iron is hot, as they say, play, play, play. And when you're getting your lunch handed to you, stop, go do something else, read my blog, follow me on Craig Hoffman 11 on Twitter, or take a nap. If ratings are your things. A lot of weird people on those websites. They say whatever they want, and they do whatever they want, and you can report them again. But be prepared for that. I was a little shocked at first, like people saying terrible things on the open forum, and even sometimes writing me or messaging me. I got a picture of a girl who wanted to be my girlfriend, but one, I'm already married, and two, no girl who looks like that would want somebody who looks like me. It happens. The spam I don't need. And you expect that in social media times. But that takes a little getting used to. So you got the cheaters, and you got the weird people, so I play the bots. But when I study, you say, what do you study? You know, I'm not going to be a grandmaster or any title. I study openings, and I don't study all the openings. I think that's not good for the average player. I study King's Pawn on the white side, and I did a study of the bird's opening and responses and several lines with those. So that's 2. And on the black side of the board, I studied the Sicilian because everyone plays that. It's like the Najdorf is really popular these days. And I studied Areti opening and the Two Knights opening to some degree. I prefer to play white, as most people do, because I like to go first. I don't know. There's just something. I win a lot more games white than I do black. On the black pieces, of course. The other part is never, never, never resign. I win a lot of games because I don't give up. I'll run around with a king, don, 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 until I catch somebody, flag them, which is timing them out, which happens a lot in the modern 5, 3, 1, 30-second, or even 15-second ultra bullet games. I win a lot of games just running around the board. I jump on people early, I play like crap, and I run around the board with my king, beating them. I got second place in that tournament I spoke of, like a 1-minute bullet tournament. Every game I won was by time. I didn't win any game by checkmate. And they were much better players. I was just jumped them early, got them out of the book, and ran around the board. Effective. I got a nice little medal on my chess.com thing. Second. I was 1 point away from winning that whole tournament over a grandmaster who had 1 more point than I did. So I was really happy as a casual player. That was like the highlight of my chess life. So you get the cheaters, the weird people, and then what to study. So I'm studying openings, limited but deeply. And then I spend some time, of course, studying other openings that are popular, generally. So I kind of know what's coming. And I study the popular gambits. Those are the traps. Because you're going to lose a lot of games. Because these days everybody watches the same content creation and creators on YouTube and Twitch and all that. And they all play the gambits, the fried liver. If you don't know that, you should. The Traxler, I've been beaten with and beaten to death by 1,000,000 times. If you don't know how to fianchetto or fianchetto the bishop on either side, you should know that. Because everybody does that. And the 2 bishops, you're going to get beat to death with that. Use bishops before knights if you want to beat people. I win a lot of games when I get those pesky things off the board. It helps me. Again, we're not talking about beating the elite players. I'm not going to do that in a year. I'm going to lose all those games. But the lesser players, I have trouble with people when they use the horses, the knights. I pick them off as soon as I can. Even if it's sacrificing a piece, I'll trade queens because I'm patient enough. And the next part, I do a lot of puzzles. Sometimes it's Puzzle Rush, which is like the timed puzzles. Sometimes it's a puzzle pyramid gets harder and progressively harder and harder and harder. And I do a lot of other puzzles for ratings, especially on Lead Chess. Again, it's free. And I'm not knocking chess.com. I've thought about a membership and subscription. I just don't because Lead Chess is free. And I think that's their big draw. And it's pretty quality. Puzzles. Puzzles, 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 puzzles. And then I play practice games against the bots, especially the high-level bots. And especially on Lead Chess, you can analyze the games. I analyze every loss or win I have. And it lets you find the best move. I cannot stress enough how much better I got by puzzles and by analyzing games. The next part, I watch a lot of games. Classic games for points when a content creator is describing them. And I go through on Lead Chess and find high-level games in an opening. Again, as I talked about, the King's Pawn, Queen's Pawn a little bit, and the Sicilian. And I see where people blundered and where they make mistakes. That's helped me a lot. Watching games is great. I also got into blindfold chess, which is no pieces on the board playing. Now that's much, much harder, right? I'm not going to be very good at that, although I did eventually win a match this year. And I played one in real life here in Japan. And I lost, but it was a good match. Visualization of the board. Where pieces are and where pieces can go. And I'm not telling you anything that you can't get from the really experts. But for me, that seemed so simple, but that helped me get back into the swing of games. You're going to beat people by not making the big mistake. Sometimes I just wait. I play a safe move. A move I know I can't be taken, and people get impatient and aggressive, and they blunder. Back rank checkmates a lot. Hanging the queen a lot. I did that in a live Twitch match with a really high level player. I was playing in a quirky kind of opening, trying to throw them off because they were playing like 19 other people. And I hung a queen. I was the one who made the blunder. I got excited thinking I had an attack on one side, and I blundered. Not the way to go. But the blindfold chess really helps me visualize where pieces are, where they are going, and what's coming in. And that seems simple, but it beats most players. I talk about that in the writing and other things. Be extraordinary at the ordinary. When I play good matches, I didn't make amazing, spectacular 5 moves out. I'm lucky to get 2 or 3 moves out of calculation. Maybe 4 on a good day. Sometimes minus. My calculation is wrong. But when I have a good move, I make a good move. And I try not to make a terrible move. So I'm, again, pretty good at the opening I'm playing. I stay in book as long as I can, which is hard against the other side when they're lower rated because they're not playing theory. I'd have a much better chance. I do much better, for example, against the high level 3,000 plus bot playing King's Pawn than I do against a 200 or 300 or 400 or 500 level player because they quickly jump and do something random and I panic and I don't know what to do. You'd be surprised how well you do just from straight up memorization. I memorize like the first 20 moves and I'm pretty good if people play X amount of moves back. And that's true for a lot of chess players. A lot of them set out. The Grandmasters, I've watched a lot of Super GM matches. They find the same position again and again and again and again. And it's like 20, 21, 22, 23 moves deep before they're reached a new position. So there's nothing new. They might as well put the pieces on the board right there and start from there. Which is why so many high-level matches, especially in the classical variety, end up in draws. And that gets boring for the average person. The last part I'll say is make it fun. I've had fun learning about chess again. When I was a boy, the chess engines were pretty good, but there were not a lot of books for me to get. I lived in a rural area, and the literature, I knew what the pieces were. I knew what the pieces could do. I didn't know the names of King Pawn or Queen's Pawn, or I didn't know how to fork a piece. I knew what that was. I didn't know what it was called. I didn't know how to stop attacks. I knew check and checkmate. But that was about it. Now there's just so much information and literature out there and people who really are passionate about chess, who are high level, who really enjoy talking about the games, the classic games, the great players, who enjoy explaining the theory, who also enjoy showing how to be better at the numerous variations of chess that proliferate social media these days. And of course, some of the drama comes with that. So you have to be careful. The last part I'll say is play chess for chess. The personal stuff and the stuff that happens online between people and even some of the content creators is sad. But it also happens between players who get angry and, again, as I said, the cheaters. Don't let that bring you down. When it starts to be negative, I'm out of there and I go back to my bots. Again, not deep, and we'll be back to our regular content of Japan, Japanese food, writing, social media content creation, and blogging in the next episode in the near future. But I encourage you to check out the great things going on in the chess world. I've learned a lot about the game, the great players, the history, and the modern content creators who are making bank, many of them, doing great things on social media. That's it, and have a great day.